Divine Couch Conversations with the Masegos. So this is basically our first episode. We did send a sneak preview of what this conversation will be about. So today we we go deeper. Today we unpack on the things that really matter in as far as relationships and marriages are concerned, especially marriages that have God or Christ as the foundation of them. So greeting you tonight is Makosonke Masego, and this is my beautiful wife. And you are?
Hi family, this is Ndumi Masego. I'm Mrs. Masego.
Yeah. So yeah, we want to talk today. We want to start off by talking about courtship.
Yeah.
Well, the in the Christian space, it's called courtship, but in the world, we call it dating. So for us it was dating.
It was dating for us. Yeah.
For us it was dating.
It was dating.
Yeah, because in as much as I'm somehow from a Christian background myself, in the sense that my mother was the one that really instilled those values. But obviously that was not my thing at the time. I was still young, I was still naive, I was still doing all sorts of things that did not glorify God in any way. So there were a lot of stumbling blocks that we had to weather, that we had to overcome, because of things like not getting things like premarital counseling, things that we want to talk about right now, the mistakes, that we did because of lack of knowledge and understanding of certain things. So that's our conversation tonight is mainly about that. We want to talk about courtship stroke dating, the importance of certain aspects of courtship and the difference between the two. So yeah, so what do you wanna start with?
Okay, I think we will first off talk about courtship and dating, and we want to go into how courtship differs from dating.
Yeah.
Because courtship is a term used in the Christian community.
Yeah.
So we date, yes, even as Christians will date, but it's formally known as courtship. So we will talk about the courtship and the difference between courtship and dating. And then why courtship? Because right now, if somebody would walk to me and say, hey, Mrs. Masego, I want to start dating and everything, and I am a child of God, I am Christian, I am in church, and I am participating and this and that. So my advice would be courtship, not dating. The reason I want to say I would advise for courtship, it's because courtship is not supposed to take long. Normally, our pastors would say courtship is probably, you will probably date for a couple of months. You get engaged at church. You get engaged. After getting engaged, you'll probably date for 6 months. After the 6 months, you need to get married. The reason they are saying you are supposed to only date for the 6 months after you have introduced your partner to the church or to your pastor and your family members, your parents, it's because they want to try and curve or probably make a boundary between the dating, because during dating we don't care much. We will go visit each other and we have dates, which is, it's still normal. It's okay for you to have your dates, but the difference now is during the process of courtship we will date, but We're not supposed to have private space. We're not supposed to
yeah.
be seen in private spaces. I hope you understand. You're not supposed to be seen in private. You're not supposed
secluded.
to. Yeah. You're not supposed to be going to private spaces on your own. It can't just be the two of you. Let's meet at a restaurant.
Yeah.
Where there's a lot of people around. We need to not visit each other at, I can't go
Privately,
to your place.
come to my place.
Yeah, I can't go to your place because it's going to be the two of us. What's going to happen? You know, so it's a way of protecting the relationship. As much as you're building the relationship, getting to know each other, but you're not supposed to do certain things.
So personally, talking about us, you one person that is from as I mentioned on our sneak preview, basically stroke introduction, that you're from a Christian background.
Yes.
Both your parents, well, your mom is still a God-fearing.
Yes.
Your father passed away a couple of years ago. May his soul rest in peace. Beautiful man, lovely man. That guy loved me. One of the reasons why I married my wife, because that guy loved me unconditionally. I couldn't believe, you know, he would hold my hand like this every time he sees me, and he would hug me like, "How are you, son?" And you know, that was just something else for me. I loved that man. He became my father. You know, he became my father. But life happened. So now, talking about us now. Well, one thing I know for sure, we didn't go through the process of courtship.
No, I was
dated.
It was supposed to be courtship because I'm coming from a Christian family where my mother and my father both participated at church. I participated at church. I was with the worship team. So I was in the youth. I participated with the youth services and everything. So I was in church, working in church. So when I met you, we dated. We did not do courtship. As much as I introduced you to my parents at an early stage, because I already, like, after meeting you, I already knew, okay, this one is going to be my husband. I don't know, but it was there. I knew it because there's like, it was a journey for us, or for me. It was a journey for me. There's a lot of things that I had to sit down with myself, and I was like, you know what? God is saying something.
Even though we were unequally yoked.
Yeah, because that's the problem.
Yeah, the Bible warns about being unequally yoked.
Yes.
So we were unequally yoked.
Yes.
So I believe not every relationship turns out this way.
Yeah.
You know, I think God's favor and hand had a lot to do with where we are today.
And the prayers from our parents.
Definitely.
And the prayers from our parents, because our parents have always wished us well, and they've always wished the best for us.
Yeah.
And after seeing the relationship.
Yeah. You know, we spoke about both your parents, you know, being God-fearing, and you coming from a proper, a structured family, you know, for the which foundation was, which God was the foundation of. Yeah, for me it was different. My mother was Christian, but then my dad came from
traditional man.
You know, my grandfather was a polygamist, had multiple wives, so automatically that means. For my dad as well, it was okay for him to have more than one wife, even though he didn't. So I always say my dad started something, and I really appreciate that. As I grow up, I start realizing how much he tried, you know, to be a better person. Right, because, like, I'm talking about someone that came from. His father was a chief. And he had more than 5 wives. So now automatically you are born in that environment where it's okay to have more than one wife. It's okay to so my dad, the one good thing that my dad did was he only got married to my mother. Though he struggled with infidelity, somewhere, somehow now that I'm a man, I've grown, I understand why it was difficult for him. And we'll talk about the spiritual part of things as well as we go along. But there's so much that comes into play when you think about getting married, especially if you are unequally yoked.
Yeah.
So we've also suffered a serious tides, serious. We've had to fight serious and huge, big spiritual battles. We are gonna get to that as we move along. So that is why I keep insisting to not be unequally yoked.
Yeah.
So you were saying,
what does unequally yoked mean?
It means if you are Christian, get married to someone that is Christian too.
Yeah. People that believe in the same thing, the same religion.
So that you can have the same values, so that you can complement each other one way or the other through the Bible, through the scripture. Because if she goes to church and I don't believe, if she believes in God and I don't believe in God, what's going to happen is every Friday every Sunday when it's time to go to church, I'll be going to a club, of which that's what happened. That's what happened with us. There were times where, fine, when we started, I tried to go to church, but it got to a point where I felt like, you know what, I'm a man now, I'm old now. I'm just gonna do things the way that I want.
Yeah, because when I first met you, you were a person that used to go to church.
Yeah. I was actually I was committed. I was committed to church. I used to play drums at church. I used to dance. I used to have a dance group. I was one of those young, promising, cool dudes. Young, cool dudes. But it happened what happened, and. But the most important thing is I'm grateful that today, I am here. So let's dive a bit deeper.
Okay. We were on.
We're talking about courtship. That do not be unequally yoked.
Okay. Yes. Now, when we met, I believed we were equally yoked because I knew you as a person that went to church. But we did not even question much, are you really a Christian? Because it is important to know that your partner is Christian. So
not just the churchgoer.
Not just the churchgoer.
Yeah.
Because I was Christian.
Most important, are they saved? Yeah.
So we dated.
Yeah.
And we dated for 4 years before we got married in 2015. So we dated. I introduced you to my parents. After I introduced you to my parents in 2012. In April, I remember. I introduced you to my parents in 2012, April. And mind you, I'm introducing him to my parents, I'm already pregnant.
Yeah.
And I'm already pregnant. So now, it's not just an introduction. I'm introducing him to my parents because I'm pregnant and my parents need to know what is happening. They didn't know I was pregnant, yes. But the plan that we had in mind, or maybe that I had when I said, okay, now I'm taking you to my parents, it was a thing of saying, I do not want to have a child out of wedlock. That was the idea in my head. So I decide I'm going to introduce you to my parents. You agree. And that happened. We didn't tell my parents I was pregnant. It was just, I'm introducing this guy that I love, and we have a plan of getting married, because that was what we told our parents. So
that was what we told her parents. Because we already messed up. So now we're trying to cover, the fact that she was now pregnant.
So that when we come back to say we are pregnant, and they already know,
we know the guy.
It's him. So are you still getting married?
So somehow it was not genuine.
No, it was not. It was not. The introduction was not genuine, but the relationship was genuine.
100%.
The relationship was genuine
100%.
because earlier, before I even took you to my parents, I'd already met your mom. I'd already met your mom. So we started off like that, and your mom loved me. And your mom loved me.
She did.
So for us, she gave an approval to the relationship.
Yes, and also I think for me that was a huge thing. my mom did not hold back. You know, from the first time she met you, she expressed how much she liked you, and she felt you were humble, you were grounded. She also liked where you were coming from. You know, she knew your mom.
She knew both
She knew both your parents. Yeah, she knew both your parents. So knowing both your parents, she was like, you know what?
She already had an idea of the person that I am.
Exactly. So that made things easy for me. But that should not deceive you to thinking it was an easy and smooth ride. It was chaos. It was chaos.
Yeah.
It was hectic.
Yeah.
It was hectic.
Was.
I was hectic. I was
yeah,
hectic.
you were hectic.
Yeah.
Maybe we could say you were hectic.
I was hectic.
Honestly, I was calm, collected. Like, I was just one of if you leave me at home, you'll find me at home.
Looked innocent.
I was innocent, very much innocent.
If you say so.
So okay, let's go forward. For us, like we are trying to explain that for ours it was not courtship. Ours was dating.
Yeah.
So now the difference is that when you are in courtship,
there's boundaries.
You will not fall pregnant.
There's boundaries.
Just like we did. You will not fall pregnant just like we did.
Yeah, there's boundaries to be observed.
Exactly.
You know?
Because for us, we would go and sleep
At
the whole weekend at a hotel. Yeah. I'd spend the weekend at a hotel because then you were working.
In Durban.
Yes, you were in Durban. So I was in Swaziland.
We would have trips.
So yes. So the visits, the vacations and everything, those are very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
They're very, very dangerous when you are a Christian and you are a lady or you are a man that is a gentleman that is ready to get married. And you love this lady and you want to get married to this person.
Yeah.
So now what we are trying to say is that avoid the situations where you're taking a vacation and you actually think, I'm going to be strong. You are going to sleep in that other room. I'm going to sleep in the other room because it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So we did not experience that.
Yeah.
From the get-go, we were sleeping in one bed.
And
we were not married.
Yeah, and then also just to add to that, we were not just dating and sleeping around. I was so into alcohol. I was so into drinking. It was not even funny, and I was so into friends, so much that sometimes that compromised, our relationship.
It did.
Yeah. Maybe you could just elaborate briefly how that affected our relationship.
Okay. I think at first, for me, it didn't really affect me like that. Like the first year of our relationship, I didn't have much of a problem. I was like, no, he will stop. I will keep praying for him. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that because already you've put yourself in a position where you are saying, I'm going to change him.
and you know I'm laughing. I remember saying to you that I drink and don't try to change me.
I know.
And there'll be days where I'll go out with my friends, and we had this conversation. And you remember what you said?
No, like, no, I'm not gonna change you.
Yes, you said
yeah.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna change you.
You said you're not gonna change me.
I love you for you.
100%. That's what you said. But that changed later.
Yeah,
I
think.
And also you said if I want to go out and drink, you want to come with me. Even if you're gonna have your soft drinks, you're gonna have whatever, but I should not leave you.
Let's be in the same environment.
Exactly. Let's do this together. I want to go out, have fun. You wanted to come with me, but obviously there were times where I felt like, nah, I just want to be with the boys. You know, I just wanted to bring that to say, you know what, there's been issues around that.
It started at a later stage where now, not even when I was pregnant, because even during the pregnancy, we were fine. We were fine. To be honest, I think for me, I think I still had that thing of saying, God is going to change you through me.
Yeah.
You know, God is going to change you through me, and God wouldn't have put me in a position of dating somebody that was not even going to now conform into the Christian life or something.
Yeah.
Like this person, his mother prays.
100%.
Your mom prays. Your mom will sit us down and pray for us.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Even when we, like, it was always about, like, our life was around prayerful people.
Yeah.
Everything
Our
was,
parents would always
our
pray
parents
for
would
us.
pray for us. I'd go to your house and visit, and your mom is there. We sit down. When I'm supposed to leave, we would pray.
Yeah, that's my mom.
So I had the idea that it's not going to be like this the whole time.
Yeah.
But I did want it to come at an early stage, because I remember at some point there's somebody that came to me, a lady that came to me, was somehow your relative, and said, "Do you know the person you're dating? I'm pregnant then, mind you." No, I already had my son.
Yeah.
My son was still a baby. And she comes to me and says, "Do you know the person you're dating?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Hey, you guys, you're not compatible." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" And because I know my boyfriend loves me.
Yeah.
At that point, like, he loves me. Like, he will do anything for me and my son. And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I hear you and everything." And as usual, I would brush everyone off.
Yeah.
As usual, I'll brush everyone off and just move along and enjoy my relationship, because my relationship was beautiful. So it got to the point where now I think probably,
as you were saying, your relationship is beautiful. I'm actually reminded I'm actually reminded of a time in our relationship when we were dating. I just don't want our extended family to have the idea that we had a beautiful and perfect a dating phase. I remember a time when we were dating, went to sleep at a hotel, because my ways were not straight at the time. I was still trying to figure things out.
Oh yeah, and I was still pregnant then.
You were pregnant. She was pregnant. We went to book at a hotel, and then somewhere at midnight,
we had a stalker.
We had the stalker. Unknowingly, we had the stalker. So that person knocked at the hotel, the room that
she followed us from reception all the way to the room. So she already knew where we were.
Exactly. So when she knocked, we thought it was room service, and it was my ex. Well, I'm not sure if she was an ex.
She was an ex. From your explanation, she was an ex.
Well, she was an ex because you had said to me, "I know you have a past. I love you. I know you're not perfect. But I want you to work on yourself. For the both of us." You said, "If you have a past and you want to be with me, then you gotta leave the past behind you." And then sometimes these things, they take time. So I was slowly, cutting off certain things because I was sort of accustomed to a hell lot of crap. So because of that, taking my time to delete certain files. This one night, having a beautiful weekend with her while we were dating. We had a hotel, having the time of our lives. I just traveled in from Durban. So we pulled up at this hotel. We just enjoying for the weekend. We're sleeping at midnight. Midnight, someone knocks at our door. We thought it was room service because we're still,
we just checked in. Remember, we're just
we're still chit chatting there.
We were sitting the whole time because we had come back from
movies, dinner.
So now we just came back and then, like, we hadn't even sat for like 30 minutes. And now there's a knock.
So this person comes in, just push the door. I almost fell myself. And then what happened in the story for another day, my wife is pregnant. And fortunately there were securities there. They came, they tried to help with the whole situation. She was dragged out, and I had to go out and try and calm the situation.
We were not fighting though.
No
fight. It was just a conversation.
It was a conversation. But she was under the influence. She was under the influence. and I think she had deliberately taken a couple of, just to make sure that she makes this as uncomfortable as possible. So now, then later, I heard she got arrested for drunk driving. Yeah, because I remember they called me like 3 a.m. and said, well, she left the hotel.
It was in the morning. They called in the morning around 6:30 in the morning.
Now you can imagine. You can imagine what I had to go through, what she had to go through, not me. But I also went through something because, now my wife was in tears the whole night. Like she had never been through such. Now I had to try and comfort her and
lie.
and lie, just to make sure we get through the night, just to make sure we get through the night. So I think that was the first devastating.
That was the first time I was like, okay, what have I got myself into?
That was extreme. That was extreme. So we obviously.
It's bumps. It happens.
So,
but not like that. But it happened.
and somehow I felt like, no, this is over. I felt you were leaving. I was sure you were gone because you were crying the whole night and you said you.
And already I was in my Begazela air.
and she's heavily pregnant at the time, and it's just some of the things that we've been through.
And those are the things that you encounter during dating and you are having sex before marriage. Those are the things that you encounter as a young lady, and it's things really you are not prepared. You're not prepared, and it happens just like that. And so that was our relationship, our dating stage. That was our dating stage, and there was the alcohol issues. Those were there, and
well, there's a whole episode on that one. There's a whole episode for that. Like we're just gonna go dive deep
on dealing with alcohol,
the car accidents that came with that. There's days where I got home, being chauffeured by police. The car was a mess, was wrecked. I've been through a lot of accidents because of alcohol.
But God being God, God will protect you. God will protect you. God will.
It's a pity though. It's a pity though.
You really do not expect for your own life.
It's a pity though that we just think there's a car accident and all that, but these things have a serious impact on your finances. You when you think I survived and but it will take you back one way or the other, whether you see it or not, but somewhere down the line it gets to affect you financially. And I've seen that so many times, not when I was doing all this nonsense, but later in life I was like, you know what, I would be far by now. There's so many stupid mistakes that I've made with money because of stupid choices. Imagine going out. One of the biggest issues we've had also was even when we're dating, I'd make promises to say tomorrow we're doing A, B, C, D, F, G, and then I get drunk, on a Friday. I'm supposed to pick her up on a Saturday. Then I'm not sure. My phone is off. I didn't even sleep at home, so you can't call anyone. You try to call my sisters at times. I'm nowhere to be seen. And
you become very unreliable.
Very unreliable.
You become very unreliable.
Now that's also part of why we keep saying do not be unequally yoked. Because now if you're dating a decent guy, a Christian guy, you wouldn't have those issues. You wouldn't have those problems because we assume if you're Christian, then you live by certain values, by a certain code. So you're very responsible. You're reachable. Unlike someone that is just all over the place, So those are the other issues, So now I always say, if a woman, because I've learned this from us, I really appreciate how you've prayed for our relationship, how you've prayed for me. You know, you don't just pray for me, but you pray for me because you love me. You want me to. You want to see me succeed. You want to see me prosper. You know, and that is rare. That is rare. And I've seen my wife, you know, praying, going on her knees, praying for our relationship. Today, our kids pray with us every day at 8 p.m. We have a prayer night every day without fail. And then now we read the scriptures, read the Bible with them, and this is all because there's a time when I even stopped going to church.
Yeah.
I just got tired.
That was after we got married.
Yeah, that was after we got married. My wife said, no. You stay at home, but I'm going to church. And I started feeling guilty. And I was like, no, I this can't be happening. This can't be happening. I need to go to church. I remember we had to change churches at the time. We had to change church because I was like, I cannot go back there because I haven't been there in a while. Let's find another church. We ended up going to a different church. And you're willing to make that sacrifice because you're definitely happy seeing me opening up to going to church again. You know, it's been a huge undertaking for you. It hasn't been an easy journey. So and to be honest, I know for sure today that not every woman is like you. When you're a different breed, you're cut from a different cloth. Most women would have left me at hello. You know, most women would have left me at you know, like you were made for me. You were made for me 100%.
Then I guess it's true what the Bible says.
He who finds a wife
and every
finds a good
person,
thing.
like
you are a good thing. You are a good thing. You are a good thing.
Okay. Then we know. Now your rib.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess
that's what it is. That's what it is. You know, I have made so many blunders that one of the reasons why I love you so much is because dating you, there's something that I learned. Okay. I learned that we as a machita, so it's like we've got a tip pad, you know, where we say, especially me, coming from my background, where polygamy, it's you know. Yeah. So I was like, she'll leave eventually because I don't have any role models. I don't know anyone from my family that has succeeded in marriage. I not even in relationships. I don't know anyone. Be it my grandfather, be it my dad, be it, you know, within my actual family. I don't know anyone. I don't. I'm literally the first one to get married. I mean, we've been married for how long now? For 10 years straight, and we've been together for 14 years. So it's the first it happened in my entire family. It's the first it happened, and I've got no role model. And we didn't get premarital counseling. We didn't do any courtship.
We did.
Oh, we did just for a short period of time.
Yeah, it wasn't for long.
Just for a short period of time.
From the church where I was coming from, it was supposed to be for 6 months.
Yeah.
But because we decided to get married in 3 months, after everything had been done, we decided to get married within 3 months. So we had to do premarital counseling, I think, for 2 months.
Then post.
Yes.
Then post.
Yeah. Then after we continued with premarital counseling, which was a very, very good idea to even do, even after we got married.
But
because
the post is tricky though, because I would advise people to do post years, but it's tricky. You need to invest more in the premarital counseling.
Yes.
Because after getting married, you feel like, we're already in this, you know.
Why are we continuing with this thing?
You don't take it seriously.
And that is therapy.
You don't, Yes, it is. You don't take it seriously. But, you know, as you go along, you start realizing just how important it is. to do both.
Yes.
To do both. So as I was saying, I honestly appreciate you because of the woman that you are. And I credit this to your parents. There's so many stupid things that I've done before marriage and after marriage. And we are still locked in, not because I've become a better or perfect person.
But you have become like the best husband.
I'm grateful. I'm happy you're saying that. But honestly speaking, for me, I feel like every day there's work that's being put in every day, and I see the fruits. I slowly see the change. And well, I'll never get to a point where I'll probably feel like I'm there now.
But you are an answered prayer, to be honest.
Well, if
okay, for me.
Okay.
Yeah. According to me.
Yeah, may I still feel like, because I still have mind battles like that I'm still fighting even to this day.
Yeah.
But I'm just grateful that I got the one. I got that good wife, that good thing that God talks about. Someone that will pray for me. Someone that will be patient with me. I remember we did all of these things. Like I did all of this nonsense. And my wife said something that was so profound that I don't think any other woman would have said it to me. I remember saying to my wife, anyways, I know you leave me because no woman can take this nonsense that you're putting up with. Eventually, I know you'll get tired and you will leave me. And you're probably telling your mom or your family members some of this nonsense that I'm doing. So you're probably sharing this thing with them. So yeah, we'll see. And my wife said something that just blew my mind. She said, Sonke, if I tell my mom the things that you do, she would hate you. If I tell my family what you do, they would hate you. So on the days that we visit them and we are happy, they'll still look at you like that idiot. So I will never, and I have never told them a thing about you. I'm waiting for you to grow up. I'm waiting for you to change. I was like, what? And Minilapo, I'm going through life like, really? And I've got serious attitude towards your mom. I've got attitude towards your entire family. Because in my head, I'm thinking, very bad. Very, you're talking about me. You understand? But that day when you said that, and then immediately you said that, when we then went to visit them, and I started talking freely around them, not with my guard up, I realized these people they saw me as an angel. They saw me as the perfect Mkhwenyana, So now, how many women out there are willing to do that for you, to protect you like that? I remember one day, it was just one of those days where I just felt overwhelmed, tired, I feeling drained, but it was my spirit being awakened within me. There was that thing that was saying it's time for you to grow up. You've got a good wife. You need to grow up and change. You need to do better. You can't be perfect overnight. I'm still battling stuff even today. I'm still trying. But that's when I decided, you know what? This woman deserves better. This woman deserves better. And I started posting my family, posting my wife, because I had nothing to fear anymore. I was all in. I was all in. I wanted to see us work. Like I said earlier, we as men, sometimes we have this tick pad where we say, she'll do this, I'll do this, and she'll leave. I'll do this. And I exhausted the entire tick pad. Like I ticked every box, and you're still here. Remember, we are from different backgrounds. Some of the things that me and you went through is some of the things that my parents went through. And they could not survive it. yet we are still here. And I remember it was around the time when I said to you, I've started viewing our marriage differently. And I think that is why we are here today. I started viewing my marriage differently from other marriages, because like I said, mine is the first. Mine is the first to come this far. I consider this success for me. I consider this success for me. So I look at it differently. I'm like, this is what changes generations.
Okay.
This is what changes my bloodline.
True.
This is what terminates and cancels all curses.
True.
Whatever happened back then will not happen with my kids.
Yeah.
Now I close that gate.
Yeah.
I plead the blood of Jesus.
Yes.
I say, God, whatever happened there ends there. I'm ready to turn things around.
You're changing the narrative.
I'm making you the foundation of my family. I plead the blood of Jesus over my family. Whatever curse that happened there will not come here. We started praying. Whatever curse, whatever bondages, whatever it is that was agreed on, the covenants that we made there, those are broken. I'm not part of that old covenant.
Yeah.
This is a new thing. This is a new thing. The Bible says, behold, the new has come and the old is gone.
Yeah.
I see this as a new thing. And there's a verse that says, the tongue, of I think, what verse is that? No. There's a verse that talks about the tongue of a woman.
Oh, okay.
So basically, this verse talks about the sharp tongue and a fervent woman and all of that. This verse basically talks about what a woman can become. A woman can be one of two things. A woman can either be the one that will bring destruction to you, or the one that will lead you to greener pastures. And for me, you are the woman that is taking me to greener pastures. So honestly speaking, Ndomi, you have been, I think I've said this before, years ago. I said, to me, you're truly the reflection of God's love. If God was to love someone here on earth, He would love them the way that you love me. Meaning, He would not judge them. He would really forgive them for forgiving them. I honestly do not remember a time where we had a fight because of something that I'd done, and then you brought it up in a later conversation when I'd done something else that was wrong. You say, okay, let's put this behind us, and it's behind us, and then we move on. Now, it's different for me. When I'm mad, I bring everything up, like from the day I met you. Even today, I still bring a hell of... I still talk about that boy that was hitting...
that was sending that message and saying something.
You know me. So I remember when we were dating, guys would hit on my woman, right? But me, I get mad, for someone hitting on you, as if you had control over that.
Yeah.
I'm like that.
As if
like
I was born.
as if I was a bonagal, So it's sort of the things that we would fight about, like, why is this guy hitting on you? Doesn't he know you have a boyfriend? Doesn't he? It's like that. I love you like that. I love you like that. But also sometimes we need to be careful not to be toxic.
Yeah, I think.
Sometimes we need to be careful not to be toxic. But also remember, with time, me and you are at a place where I can go for. I was in Cape Town. I was in Cape Town for a while. You're not worried about me messing up in Cape Town.
No.
I was not worrying about you in messing up at our place in Midrand. But it takes time. It takes time. Like literally, when we were dating, we'd go to a hotel and you'd be sleeping, and I'd sneak and take your phone and go through your phone and check who said what and why. Then I just put it there like nothing happened. You do the same thing with my phone, you know.
Yeah.
You do the same thing with my phone, and whenever you're different, because immediately there's something that you want to talk about it. So what's this? What's happening then? So but now we are at a place where literally I can put my phone here and just go to the shops. I don't have to.
You can take the phone and go with it to Cape Town, and you realize later, oh, I took your phone, and like there's not a problem there.
I never saw that happening. I don't even know. That is why I'm so grateful for the journey that we've traveled, because, you know, I'm at a place that I never thought I could ever be. Like I'm at a place that I've never imagined myself in as far as marriage is concerned.
Yeah.
I think that is why it has been, that's why it's been so successful, because I never saw these things happening. I literally get blown away every step of the way. You know, it's amazing. It's for me, it's been a wonderful journey. It's been tough. And then, you know, I'd like for us on our next episode to also factor in our financial struggles, you know, how
to deal with finances in marriage.
Having real partners when things are tough, when things are rough financially. You know, me and my wife are blessed. We are so blessed in such a way that we do go through tough times financially. We still do go through the roughest of times financially. But, you know, God has blessed us so much that even when we are going through the most, you won't see us. Like literally, you won't tell that we go through the most.
You're not supposed to look like your problem.
No, we don't look like our problem. Sometimes, like literally, there's days where our kids will wake up and be like, Dad, the fridge is empty. You know, and that, like literally, not that there's 500 of, there's zero. Like there's literally zero. There's nothing, you know. But God being God, we've never, you know, gone to bed on an empty stomach. You know,
that's the covering. That's the covering.
You know, and people will perceive us out there as people that are probably okay and what. We still go through the worst of challenges. We're 100% okay. I mean, God is on our side. We are winning. We are winning. Every day we're winning. But I'm just saying this to say, marriages don't work just because there's money.
True.
There's challenges sometimes. Finances will challenge your marriage. Finances will challenge your marriage, and when this happens, two things happen. You know, you get to see and realize the person that you are with during the time. My wife has been with me through the toughest time. You know, even our relocation was not an easy thing. You know, that one is heavy. That one is heavy. But yeah.
Story for another day.
Story for another day. So, what else do you want to talk about?
I think we're probably running out of time now.
Yeah.
But the long and short of it is that we want to encourage young people, young Christians, that let's do courtship. Like I said, I would advise courtship, and no sex before marriage. Am I saying it right? Yeah.
That's the honest truth.
Yeah, no sex before marriage, because
what you do up to you, but we're just saying no
because
sex.
these things, they come with their own packs.
100%.
Honestly, it's packages of things. So the safest way to do it as a Christian young person, be it male or female, let's do it the right way. Let's do it the right way. Seek counseling and pray for your partner.
100%.
Pray for your partner
100%.
and know the person that you're with.
Know the person that you're with.
Know the person
You
that
gotta
you're
know
with.
the person that you're
Because
with.
if you do not know your partner, then who else is going to know the person?
And just to add on that, you know, most marriages, most relationships are failing today because people do not want to understand. People do not want to acquire knowledge and wisdom to understand their partners. You know, currently I'm dealing with a lot of my friends who are going through the toughest times. And the one thing that I've learned, honestly speaking, I always say marriage is the only place, marriage is the only institution where you get to discover yourself in another different light.
Yeah.
Where you get to become the one thing that you would have never been except through marriage.
True.
Marriage is the only
Marriage
place.
will open you up in a way that you didn't even
Marriage
expect
is the
from yourself.
only place where you get transformed and become the greatest version of yourself. And there's no anywhere place else where that can happen. Whether you're a soccer star, whether you are a musician, you will never be that person except through marriage.
Yeah.
So that institution is divine.
It is.
It's quite divine.
And it comes with a lot of blessings.
And a lot of responsibility.
There's growth, there's blessings, there's responsibility.
Yeah.
And when we speak of growth, it's
Be
you're
open to
transitioning.
change.
You're transitioning from being a
100%,
boy,
100%.
from being just a boy there to being a man.
Learning to be selfless, learning to be selfless, learning to be accountable.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you now, if you're in a relationship right now, and you're probably looking forward to getting married in the next couple of months or year, trust me, whatever you're going through right now, it does not compare to what you go through once you're the adoption. There's actually a phase called an adoption stage, which is the first 6 years of your marriage. That's where you'll get tested. That's where iron sharpens iron. That 6 years determines whether you guys will stay together or not. I'm happy we're 10 years now. I'm happy we've been together for 14 years now.
Some people divorce after 10 years.
Some 20, some 30.
You need to be open to knowing the person that you're with and grow it, because we're evolving as people. We evolve.
But I want to believe that people that divorce after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, there's a graph to it. You understand? You see the growth. You see your growth. So being with someone for the sake of being in the marriage, holding on for your kids, holding on for
there's infidelity, there's there's abuse and everything.
So it's different.
Can't do that.
It's different. But if you're seeing progress, if you're seeing growth
and
steadily,
I thank God that I did not deal with infidelity in my marriage. No, I didn't deal with infidelity. That's the thing. I think that's another thing that carried me through, because in whatever problems that we would have, I knew very well that you were not cheating. But as much as sometimes I'd be like, I'm not sure, let me check, or whatever.
My wife doesn't trust me, but she loves me.
I trust you. Who's like, yeah, I do. I trust you.
You never told me you trust me.
Really?
Nope.
Yeah, and it's out. I trust him. No, I trust you, for real. I trust you. I trust you. It's just that probably you don't think I trust you, because maybe, I don't know, maybe I behave some type of way. I don't know. Anyway, infidelity will be a story for another day, where we will just speak probably on infidelity, probably what causes, because I really want to know what causes infidelity in a marriage. Why would men just want to step out of what they have? Yeah. Because you chose me. Yeah. And then now you want to step out. Yeah, and remember, it's, I don't know, maybe it's me, maybe I'm stereotyped, but in most cases, it's the men that want to step out.
I know why most men step out.
Anyway, it's a story for another day.
Most of my friends have stepped out. Most of my friends have stepped out, and I think I know why that is.
Yeah.
So
maybe you'll explain it on another day, on another episode.
Definitely. No, we're not going to say names. Don't worry.
No. I mean, you will need to go into.
Okay.
Okay. So we will have a time. We will just get a day where we will discuss infidelity. Yeah. And the reasons why men tend to then step out of the union. Yeah, definitely. That's a must do. We will. And we are winding up. It's been 60 minutes already. Family, we appreciate you. We love you.
Please look forward to our next episode, and please subscribe, follow, share, like Divine Couch Conversations. We love you, we appreciate you.
Yeah, this is where we talk about everything. We talk about it all, starting from our relationship, our marriage, and the life that we are living, and what we are seeing happening outside, because we cannot run away from what is happening outside and from what is happening in the marriages, because we are here to have these conversations because we want to speak to marriages. We want to speak life into people's marriages. We want to encourage people in their marriages, because marriages are really being attacked. Marriages
100%.
are really being attacked, and it's sad when you go into the socials and you look at people and you're like, even this one, what happened here? People are really going through a lot in marriages. But one thing that I will say is that as long as you have the firm foundation, which is God, then you will be able to carry it through. You will be able to see it through. We are not sitting here just because we've had it all perfect. No, we've spoken about this. We've said it. We didn't go into a lot of it, but we are speaking about our life. This is our journey.
This is our journey. 100%.
This is our journey. We've seen so much and we've experienced so much. But still, because we love each other, and because we know who our Redeemer is, and because we know who is the firm foundation
100%.
Where this marriage is built on. So, without God, you can't.
We know the God that has a proven track record.
Yes.
And that's the one that we believe in.
And the one that formed marriage.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
the one that designed this
just
institution.
that. I guess that's just that from me. So,
So,
bye, family.
Bye, family. Love you.
Until next time.
We out.
Sure.
Love you. Let's cut.